Welcome back, everyone. Today we're doing something a little bit different, and honestly, it's absolutely wild. We're pulling back the curtain on a leaked production blueprint. But this isn't just any blueprint. We're looking at exactly how creators are using AI, specifically a tool called Higgsfield AI, to engineer a viral 8 to 10-minute gaming explainer about the highly anticipated GTA 6. We're talking about a completely calculated meta layer of content creation here. Every host reaction, every sweeping camera angle, every single talking point, it's all generated by prompt engineering. So let's just dive right in and see exactly how this whole thing is pulled off.
So the technical setup for this is just fascinating. Before you even see a single frame of gameplay analysis, the creator has to dive deep into these back-end tools. They're adjusting system settings, what they call the MCP, and then reconnecting their authorization token, or OAuth, for Higgsfield. From there, it's all about creating what they call soul characters. And get this, they only have to run that process once per avatar. After that, they upload specific keyframes for each scene. And finally, they generate the actual video using those keyframes as a visual reference. It's an incredible behind-the-scenes look at how the viral content we all watch is actually driven by heavily automated software right from the jump. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. First, inside the viral blueprint. Second, a massive immersive world. Third, next-level NPCs and activities. Fourth, hyper-realistic gameplay consequences. And finally, number 5, the final cut.
All right, let's start with section 1. Inside the viral blueprint, engineering the hype. Now, you might be wondering, how do you hook a viewer when attention spans are basically zero these days? Well, looking at the blueprint's edit timeline, right at the 5-second mark, the AI-generated host drops this massive, highly effective anchor phrase. After 13 years, it's a totally calculated psychological hook. Just by referencing that huge gap since the last game in the franchise, the prompt instantly validates all that pent-up anticipation from longtime fans. It's not just writing a script, it's literal emotional engineering. And that brings us to who is actually delivering that line. The blueprint relies on 2 AI-generated soul characters to drive the whole narrative. On one side, you've got Marcus, and man, it is amazing how specific the prompt gets here. It explicitly designs him as a charismatic Miami gaming host with tan skin, a fade haircut, a gold chain, a black bomber jacket, and a neon pink shirt. He is custom-built for high-energy, consistent talking head clips. Then on the other side, we have Sofia. She's designed as this energetic Latina co-host with long, dark, wavy hair, a denim jacket, and a white crop top. And her main job in the prompt? Dramatic reaction cutaways. We're talking a shocked gasp, hands on her cheeks, framed by a quick punch and zoom right against a neon boulevard. They are perfectly engineered digital avatars, designed from the ground up to keep your eyes glued to the screen. Moving on to section 2, a massive, immersive world, scale, and environment. So the very first piece of B-roll the blueprint generates is entirely dedicated to showcasing the largest map in franchise history. Just listen to the sensory, cinematic language used in this prompt. The creator asks the AI to animate an aerial establishing shot. Quote, slow, epic drone pullback revealing massive tropical coastal state, Swamps Keys. The AI is specifically told to include beach towns and distant mountains, all bathed in this beautiful golden sunset lighting. The creator literally demands a cinematic open-world game trailer style with smooth camera motion. It's a perfect example of how AI can take simple, descriptive text and translate it into a breathtaking sense of visual scale. Seeing how this prompt builds from that huge macro scale down to the tiny micro details is honestly staggering. The blueprint specifically highlights one absolute jaw-dropper of a number: over 700 enterable buildings. To really sell this feature, the AI is prompted to create an immersive first-person drift. The generated scene literally walks the camera forward through this packed mall interior, moving past enterable storefronts, gliding up an escalator, with digital crowds everywhere. It's cleverly designed to give you that seamless interior exploration vibe, which grounds that massive 700-plus number into a real, tangible, photorealistic game world. But here's the thing, this environment isn't just static window dressing, it's fiercely dynamic. The first scene in the blueprint focuses entirely on extreme weather and water physics. The prompt actually commands the AI to animate a full-blown hurricane hitting a coastal city. It specifically asks for massive waves, flooded streets, whipping palm trees, lightning strikes, and completely submerged cars. The creator even tags the prompt with cinematic disaster movie energy and an 8-second dramatic storm surge. They want to make absolutely sure the viewer feels the intense, destructive power of these simulated water physics. So when you put all of those elements together, the sprawling tropical state, the hundreds of enterable mall storefronts, the severe, catastrophic weather, you really have to ask, how does this unprecedented scale change the standard open-world experience? Well, it essentially shifts the game from being just a simple sandbox into a living, breathing, and sometimes downright hostile ecosystem where your exploration is constantly being affected by the physical environment around you. Okay, let's jump into Section 3, Next Level NPCs and Activities, Life in the City. You've got to look at how this blueprint handles artificial intelligence within the game itself. They define it as real-time adaptive AI. So instead of your standard generic wandering crowds, the prompt commands a highly specific, tension-filled scenario. It asks for a convenience store clerk angrily pointing at a security camera while the camera slowly pushes in on his face under tense, dramatic lighting. The prompt explicitly asks for an NPC remembers you vibe. This is such a brilliant way to illustrate a shift toward photorealistic, consequence-driven interactions. We're talking about a world where the city's inhabitants might actually hold grudges based on what you've done in the past. And what can you actually do alongside these NPCs? Well, the blueprint calls for an 8-second vibrant montage of what they dub ridiculous side activities. The prompt demands these fast-paced, quick cuts that feel like one continuous, energetic motion. It just rattles through this dizzying list: a basketball dunk, a fishing cast, a scuba dive, an MMA punch, mini golf, a kayak splash, and finally, nightclub strobes. It's entirely designed to visually overwhelm you with a staggering, vibrant variety of life happening in the city. But, it's obviously not all kayaking and mini golf. The blueprint highlights a major evolution in law enforcement with this specific prompt, /Higgs, animate intense police chase. The creator is asking for 6 cop cars boxing in a sports car. They want tactical coordination, helicopter searchlights sweeping across a neon night city, sparks, and motion blur. They literally type in the phrase action movie intensity. It paints a picture of a relentless, coordinated police force that doesn't just chase you blindly anymore, but actively strategizes to take you down. So looking at these adaptive clerks and highly tactical police units, you really have to ask yourself, are you prepared for a virtual world that actually intelligently fights back? Because this isn't just about shooting predictable enemies anymore. It's about navigating a society that actively coordinates against your actions. Up next is Section 4, Hyper-Realistic Gameplay Consequences, the Gritty Details. For decades now, players have been used to that classic arcade-style infinite driving. You know the drill. You steal a car, and you basically joyride forever. But this blueprint highlights a sharp shift toward hyper-realistic fuel systems. The game mechanics are clearly moving away from limitless freedom and introducing some pretty harsh, grounded mechanical limitations. And the blueprint visualizes this perfectly. The 7th and final B-roll scene merges that severe weather we talked about earlier with these new vehicle mechanics. The prompt asks Higgsfield to animate a car running out of gas on a completely flooded road. The visual he creates is of a character physically pushing their car as the water rises around them, right before cutting to a gas station. The prompt explicitly asks for a slow, dramatic camera and hyper-realistic gritty detail. It's this incredibly punishing, realistic consequence where bad weather and an empty fuel tank intersect to completely ruin your joyride. Finally, we arrive at Section 5, the final cut, structuring the retention curve. Let's really dive into this timeline because it's a masterclass. This is the exact 8-minute edit mapped out specifically to maximize viewer retention. At 0 seconds, we get the hook with Sofia's shocked reaction and a title card overlay. Then, at 15 seconds, a rapid-fire quick montage flashes all 7 scenes for just half a second each, perfectly teasing the brain. And then, from 25 seconds all the way to the 8-minute mark, they meticulously... And even the very end of the explainer is meticulously generated. The outro, which runs from the 8-minute mark to 8:30, is yet another carefully calculated AI prompt. The creator commands Higgsfield to animate a clip where Marcus gives a thumbs up and a subscribe gesture, specifically requesting warm sunset lighting. It is wild how perfectly and cleanly this closes out the production loop, purposefully guiding the viewer right into the thumbnail end card. So we've unpacked the whole meta layer of how an AI generates a viral explainer, and we've explored the insane details it visualized, from flooded streets and tactical cops to grueling fuel systems. So my final question to you is this. Between the massive scale, the adaptive AI, and the gritty hyper-realism, which of these leaked blueprint details will truly redefine gaming for you? Really think about it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today, and remember to always keep questioning how the content you watch is actually made.